we do have a number of artifacts on the table here. And if we're talking about this time period.
Can you pick one up that you would talk about? So
yes.
We'll show
if we want to talk about the time of Jeremiah, we're talking about this one or the one next to it. These lamps have a single spout. Earlier ones had more. This one actually has the burn marks on it. But this lamp was used probably with olive oil. And then the one right next to it is getting closer. It is the Persian period. So we're talking about the 5th century, 6th and 5th centuries BC, the time of Jeremiah. Jeremiah actually figures into these, the time of these lamps in a number of different ways, and archaeologically. So again, we've got a lot of significance. And some other lamps that actually go further. These are Persian period. So we think,
so
if you think about Cyrus,
let's talk about years.
Okay,
so
we
our
talk
viewers
about
can get a
Cyrus the Great. We're talking about almost 1,600 years, almost 2,600 years ago. I keep getting this off by 1,000.
That's why they won't let me touch the artifacts. Wouldn't you hate it if you dropped that? Oh my gosh.
But this one, the Persian one, is from the time of Cyrus the Great. And the Cyrus cylinder is currently at the Getty Villa, if people want to see that.
Can you lift that up so we can get a good view?
Yes. So it's flat. It still has the single point to it. And it has the burn marks, the charcoal. But this is a fairly flat one. And so you wouldn't be able to take this very far. You wouldn't carry it off. You'd leave it on the mantle.
I like this little one.
I love that one too. That's my favorite
my
of the
favorite
lamps.
too.
Yes.
Tell us, can you lift that up? So
it's the earliest flashlight.
That's a flashlight.
That's what I'm going to call it. Okay?
And how old is this?
This one is about 2,150
Can I just
years
touch
old.
it?
You may.
Can I really pick it up?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And so that one is, you can't put much oil in it, but you would go out to see if the goats were okay. You would check household things.
If your children are okay, if they had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yes, and that too.
And you can see how it was made. It started out as a little bowl, and then they pinched it so that there would be a place for the wick and a place for putting the oil in. So when David in the Psalms says, your word is like a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path, this is the kind of lamp he was talking about. That's what was in his mind.
This is what we're talking about, folks. When I've read the Bible cover to cover, and I envisioned a much different lamp.
Yes, right.
More like a genie kind of lamp, I think.
We have one of those too, but we'll talk about that.
So what are we looking at here?
These are stone implements made out of basalt, and this is a stone bowl. We call it a tripod because it has 3 stone feet to it. And then this is a grinding stone, a hand grinder. We may.
It's okay if I touch it if I'm very
sure.
Yes.
So 3. And this is for like grinding wheat
or
something?
would be going like this to grind it, yes. And sometimes it's done on what we call a quern, a grinding quern, which is larger stone, and you're going this way, you're really grinding it. This is a small grinder. But these were used by everybody in their houses to get dinner ready. So it is, you cannot go to the pizza place. You cannot go to McDonald's. You had to make it, and you had to make it from scratch every time.
I'm so glad I'm in this era. What is
Let me
this?
go ahead and talk about that one.
It's a seal impression that's been put on here, and this particular is like a scarab beetle. Okay, but this is on the edge of a jar.
Why don't you hold that straight there and let the camera pick it up? Oh, so you can see that right there.
And it's called a lamellic seal, which means to the king, belonging to the king. Hezekiah, we talked about Hezekiah.
Was that Hezekiah?
This is the time of Hezekiah.
Unbelievable.
So, yes. And that's another one that is like it.
Okay, to belonging to you. Let's talk about something that all the men are going to love, which I actually loved from the very beginning when you pulled it out.
That's right. Would you like to hold this one?
Can I?
That one is a sword that would have been used in combat probably over 3,000 years ago.
3,000, and it's got a seal on it as well, right there.
Right.
What does that seal say?
This is indicating the country that it belonged to and the warring group that was going out into battle.
Okay, this is what's, I'm wondering, that looks like a mouth guard.
Something else you could wear, actually.
This is a piece of jewelry. You can go ahead and hold it.
This is, how old is this jewelry?
It's called a fibula, and it's actually a safety pin to hold your clothes on. Instead of buttons, we didn't have buttons.
Right.
And there's the pin actually is held by a clip, and if you look carefully, that bent spot, that's a person's arm, and the hand is gripping the pin, so that the clasp is,
I don't know if we can pick that up because it's so dainty.
It is small.
I just don't want to break anything. I get so nervous. And these,
and then some
weapons, right?
Some weapons, again from the time of the Assyrians. So we're talking Hezekiah.
Little arrowhead.
So let's see if we can pick this up.
A lot of Hezekiah here.
So our Indians aren't the only ones that had it.
Right. Everybody had these things of different kinds.
Is there anything else that we need to know? Oh, there we go. What is this?
This is a.
What is that?
This is a pillar figurine. And it is, there are hundreds of these in Jerusalem, in the shadow of the temple, which suggests that while the Bible writers argued for one kind of worship, at the popular level, people went out and made their own sanctuaries in places like Arad, Beersheba, and Tel Dan, but they also had their own worship practices. This is kind of
this is like a false idol.
It's like, but in a way,
it's definitely a false idol.
In a way, it's probably just a way, a charm, a talisman to get good luck. Some people
instead of a rabbit's foot.
Well,
that kind of thing.
I think one could say that. But some people would say this is just about sexuality. Most
like
people,
fertility too.
Right. But most people today say it has to do with nurturing, and it has to do
because she's holding her breast.
That's right, and that is the source of nurture in antiquity, and so there were.
You know what I see? I see if you want a fertile land. You know what I mean?
Well, and that too. It could be.
I mean, what do I know?
No, you're right. You're right on.
See, maybe I know more than I thought.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the artifacts and your findings that correlate
with the New Testament times and the Roman times.
All right, we'll be right back.